Live.
Well, happy Friday to my fellow veterans out there. I tip my hat to you. 3 times in 1 week. I am so happy. Sorry about running a couple minutes late. We were having some technical difficulties.
Yeah,
But
my mic wasn't working, so we put in my crummy headset, and we're gonna have my crummy headset microphone working this time. It's
it's
not the
better
first
than
time.
nothing.
Yeah, it's not the first time either.
Yeah. A Game of Thrones cat, what is it, 8?
I think so.
Yeah, Game of Thrones cat 8. As usual with this, we'll go through and have Richard say what he saw with the chapter, and then I'll jump in with my stupid stuff. So, seeing as how we're running late, take it away, Richard.
I'm Richard York, Asher's newborn son. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, old new dude.
Series in tinfoil, braids operation. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, so this is the chapter where Cat joins Rob and convinces him to destroy much of his army by promoting Luke Bolton. Um,
It's Friday.
It was too far to make out the banners clearly, but even through the drifting fog, she could see that they were white, the dark smudge in the center that could only be the direwolf of House Stark, gray upon its icy field. When she saw it with her own eyes, Catelyn reined up her horse and bowed her head in thanks. The gods were good. She was not too late. They wait our coming, my lady, Sir Willis Manderley said. Willis Manderley, I guess. As my lord father swore they would. Let us not keep them waiting any longer, sir. Sir Brendan Tully put the spurs to his horse and trotted briskly toward the banners. Catelyn rode beside him. The gods were good for a refreshing change.
Quick question. Just a quick question. Anytime we see the Y in place of an I, or is it supposed to be the I sound?
I don't know. Willis. I have no idea.
All right.
Taisha. Yeah, probably Y. Yeah, Y. I think Wireless. Yeah, probably Y. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, like Tyrion might actually be Tyrion because he's supposed to. There's specifically they comment about how Taisha, or maybe it is Tisha. I don't know, but they specifically comment that they have the same beginning sound in their name. Tyrion and Taisha, who I don't say the same. So probably ought to pick one or the other, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, however the show says it is how I say it. So.
Yeah, and it's just the gods were good for, but were they, or were they? Did she need to be here for all the things to line up right? She had to get here so that Roose could go off and destroy Rob's forces and so forth.
Yeah.
Anyway, just beyond, through the mists, she glimpsed the walls and towers of Moat Cailin, or what remained of them. Immense blocks of black basalt, each as large as a crofter's cottage, lay scattered and tumbled like a child's wooden blocks, half sunk in the soft, boggy soil. Nothing else remained of a curtain wall that had once stood as high as Winterfell's. The wooden keep was gone entirely, rotted away 1,000 years past, with not so much as a timber to mark where it had stood. All that was left of the great stronghold of the first men were 3 towers, 3 where there had once been 20, if the tale-tellers could be believed. The gatehouse tower looked sound enough, and even boasted a few feet of standing wall to either side of it. The drunkard's tower, off in the bog where the south and west walls had once met, leaned like a man about to spew a bellyful of wine into the gutter. And the tall, slender children's tower, where legend said the children of the forest had once called upon their nameless gods to send the hammer of the waters, had lost half its crown. It looked as if some great beast had taken a bite out of the crenellations along the tower top and spit the rubble across the bog. All 3 towers were green with moss. A tree was growing out between the stones on the north side of the gatehouse tower, its gnarled limbs festooned with ropey white blankets of ghost skin. Gods have mercy, Sir Brendan exclaimed when he saw what lay before them. This is Moat Cailin? It's no more than a death trap, Catelyn finished. I know how it looks, Uncle. I thought the same the first time I saw it, but Ned assured me that this ruin is more formidable than it seems. The 3 surviving towers command the causeway from all sides, and any enemy must pass between them. The bogs here are impenetrable, full of quicksands and suckholes and teeming with snakes. To assault any of the towers, an army would need to wade through waist-deep black muck, cross a moat full of lizard lions, and scale walls slimy with moss. all the while exposing themselves to fire from archers in the other towers. She gave her uncle a grim smile. And when night falls, there are said to be ghosts, cold, vengeful spirits of the north who hunger for southern blood. Cold, vengeful spirits associated with the Tower of the Children?
Exactly.
And a tower associated with a gnarled tree, by the way, right?
Yeah, with ghost skin. That's a weirwood, correct?
I don't know. I mean, you'd think she would have said if it was a weirwood, but maybe.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's not big on weirwoods, though.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Also,
I think symbolically it is.
The pronunciation of Tyrion, you got Tywin, his father, Tywin. So, I think you're right. It might be Tyrion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because he specifically says, well, it's only because I've always pronounced Tysha and Tyrion differently, and yet they claim, the two of them joke about how they're pronounced the same. And I'm like, really? Anyway.
Yeah.
Theon Greyjoy was the last. I had not looked to see you here, my lady, he said as he knelt. I had not thought to be here, Catelyn said, until I came ashore at White Harbor and Lord Wyman told me that Robb had called the banners. You know his son, Sir Wendell? Wendell mannerly stepped forward and bowed as low as his girth would allow. And my uncle, Sir Brendan Tully, who has left my sister's service for mine. So this is very similar to Catelyn's third chapter in Clash.
Yeah.
Lady Stark, Stannis Baratheon said with chill courtesy as he reined up. He inclined his head, bolder than she remembered. Lord Stannis, she returned. Beneath the tight-trimmed beard, his heavy jaw clenched hard, yet he did not hector her about titles. For that she was duly grateful. I had not thought to find you at Storm's End. I had not thought to be here. So she does this a few times.
Yeah.
Sir Roderick is on his way north from White Harbor. I have named him Castellan and commanded him to hold Winterfell till our return. Maester Luwin is a wise counselor, but unskilled in the arts of war. Have no fear on that count, Lady Stark, the Great John told her in his bass rumble. Winterfell is safe. Oh, good. I guess we don't have to worry.
Yeah. Well, I do. That is, I mean, as funny as the Great John is, I love that man. I swear.
Yeah.
I would drink a beer with him any day of the week and twice on Sunday. But her name in Roderick the Castilian is overstepping Robb for who says who does what.
Arguably. Now he kind of makes it clear here that he's actually not reached 16, so in theory she's in charge and not him, right?
Yeah.
But if he implies that you could send me back. I know I'm not 16. I know that you're actually the one the parent rules until you're 16. Name day.
It's still hard to forget just because of the images of the show.
Yeah.
How young the characters are.
Right. And so he has not reached the age of majority in this world, and she is his mother.
I was going to try to grab a picture of me I had over there at 15. Me at 15? No, I'd be sitting in a corner somewhere crying. This is just some really tough stuff.
Yeah, 15-year-old's beard isn't actually usually very, very impressive either.
It took me 52 years to grow this Ted Cruz looking beard, and I'm quite proud of it. I got product that I put in it every day, and I talk to it, and the damn thing still won't come in right.
That's looking pretty good. You'd accidentally shaved half of it off before, right?
Yeah, well, I shaved it. Well, I've shaved it twice in the last couple of years. It's both times. It was when the guard of my clippers fell off.
Right.
So after this last time, I put duct tape over it where the guard won't fall off no more.
All right. The gods saw fit to free him with some help from my fool of a sister. She ought not to be so open in her contempt, she knew, but her parting from the Eyrie had not been pleasant. She'd offered to take Lord Robert with her, to foster him at Winterfell for a few years. The company of other boys would do him good, she had dared to suggest. Lysa's rage had been frightening to behold. Sister or no, she had replied, if you try to steal my son, you will leave by the moon door. After that, there was no more to be said. Now, one thing I just thought about is a Lannister brother, one of the two Lannister brothers was freed with some help from my fool of a sister. It's kind of funny coming from Cat.
Yeah, this is true.
but but it's interesting that how explicit this is that she gets mad enough to kill family members if they plan on taking Robert, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she had no love for John, so killing him would have been nothing. But she, yeah, I wouldn't put her past killing
Yeah,
Cat in a heart.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, we don't really know that she was particularly. Yeah, maybe, you're probably right. She probably likes Cat more than she likes like John. So maybe it's a little more of a drastic step for her to murder
Yeah.
Cat.
Well, she probably can't stand her. Is just fond on the childhood memories is all.
Yeah, I don't know. I think she's so jealous of her too, and the fact that Peter always liked her better that may actually make it
Well, not to
easier to kill
mention
her.
when Cat comes to the Erie, Cat is still considered an extremely beautiful woman by Westeros standards, and
Yep.
I'm assuming ours too. And Lysa has let herself go. We'll put it that way. Which I mean, nothing wrong with that. But if she's already jealous of the sister,
Yeah.
that's just like
Having
rubbing
her
salt in the wound when she comes
maintain,
there.
yeah, maintaining her looks as she ages. Yep.
Yeah, she's probably very, very self-conscious when it comes
Which
to.
is which is already jealous of her. Yep.
Yeah,
You
I
might
know
have
my
given
brother. Not just to throw it in there. My brother was 6'2". I'm 5'6". In high school, I was probably 5'7". I've shrunk a little bit as I got older, but I was so jealous. He had straight A's, honor classes, AB honor. I mean, A honor roll, colleges left and right wanting him, and I joined the military because nobody want me. But just looking up at him, I used to get so pissed off because short people want to be tall, and then as life goes on, and the tall people get the ache from being tall and all that, they kind of wish they were shorter.
well, and most of the people that make it, you know, very very far past 90 are not exactly tall.
Yeah.
You might have given the command to any of them. Gods be good, you might even have sent Theon, though he would not be my choice. They are not Starks, he said. They are men, Rob, seasoned in battle. You were fighting with wooden swords less than a year past. She saw anger in his eyes at that, but it was gone as quick as it came, and suddenly he was a boy again. I know, he said, abashed. So Bran and Lewin suggested the same. Rob's brief loss of control could be a hint at the wolf blood, perhaps even a Brandon as his biological father clue.
Yeah, there's another clue in this chapter too.
Yeah. I decided not to include it because I actually don't think that the language is all that great of a clue. I know people quote this part, but I don't know. One of the things that is interesting is how often words like Ned or his father or whatever appear, and how sometimes they seem a little bit like Danny in the way that the language never.
Yeah, well, I mean,
The
for it to
language
be in the
never
same,
associates.
I don't know if we're here there. No, we're getting close to it though, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, it's yet he's still his father's son, and Ned
Mm-hmm.
taught him well. It's the same
Right.
sentence, and it says his father.
Right,
And
and
Ned's
Ned is two
name.
different, as if might be two different people. Yep.
That's how I read it, but I'm biased on that subject. So I saw in it what I wanted to see.
Right. You can definitely. I was definitely able to go back and look at it the other way and say I could see how people would say no, it doesn't show that at all as well. So
Yeah, and then later on in the same chapter, she calls him her and Ned's son. But I mean, if you're like me and think he's Brandon's, that could be the whole North calls them our sons and been calling them our sons for so long.
Right. It's all. I think it probably is meant to be ambiguous as usual with George, right? He really doesn't want you to interpret it both ways and have it make interesting parallels and things in both directions.
The funny thing is, well, maybe not funny, but if he is Brandon's.
Oh, I meant to tell you that Guy, the Green Bard, had mentioned a YouTuber. Oh, I'd have to pull up YouTube to get the name again. But I immediately rewatched the video and got the name and looked it up. And that YouTuber has a pretty good Brandon is the biological father of Rob video. I mean, so does Tony, of course. You've probably seen Tony's on that, right? Teflon TV.
Yeah.
But,
I want to say I have.
Yeah, but there's Yeah, the one that Guy. I'll tweet it at you. I'll tweet it at
Yeah,
you after
that'll.
this.
Speaking of tweet, what do we think of Twitter at the moment?
I mean, I think it's obviously stupid moves by Elon Musk. I think he's going to saddle it up with debt and make it declare bankruptcy, and somebody else will buy it at a fire sale and bring it back. So, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he's destroying the value of the blue check mark for nothing, basically. I mean, it's not like he's going to get any. He's not going to get any revenue from that, so not anything significant compared to the cost of implementation. And the value destruction of the liability of the brand.
Yeah, $45 billion.
Yeah, but he's lowering the value of the brand by doing that.
Yeah,
there's no way that's not a good idea. Mother, what are we going to do? I brought this whole army together, 18,000 men, but I'm not certain. He looked to her, his eyes shining. The proud young lord melted away in an instant, and quick as that he was a child again, a 15-year-old boy looking to his mother for answers. It would not do. They need him to project power, to be that shadow on the wall. Power lies where men believe it resides. Varus Dorcas line.
Yeah, they can't see behind the curtain.
Yep, you gotta project strength, and everybody needs to believe that you are the power for you to be the power.
Yeah.
He gave the command to some southern lordling, Lord Eric or Derek or something like that. But Sir Raymond Derry rode with him, and the letter said there were other knights as well. Other knights, interesting. And a force of father's own guardsmen. Only it was a trap. Lord Derek had no sooner crossed the Red Fork than the Lannisters fell upon him. The king's banner be damned, and Gregor Clegane took them in the rear as they tried to pull back across the Mummers Ford. This Lord Derek and a few others may have escaped, but no one is certain. But Sir Raymond was killed, and most of our men from Winterfell. Lord Tywin has closed off the King's Road, it said, and now he's marching north toward Harrenhal, burning as he goes. Grim and grimmer, thought Catelyn. They have the wrong name, but we get the idea. And Grim and Grimmer kind of reminds me of Alice. What's the line from Alice in Wonderland? Curiouser and Curiouser.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, if the information is exact all the time, it doesn't kind of the story changes in the telling.
They give us a pretty good picture of what's going on.
Yes.
Unfortunately, for first-time readers, they're probably less likely to make the connection by having the name be wrong and so forth. Right? This is irrelevant to them. But anyway, those of us who have grown to love Beric Dondarrion probably think that this is a great line of seeing what's going on with him, right?
Yeah, I told you I was rewatching season 8, right? And
you told me 6. You were 6, and you were thinking about stopping on episode 2 of season 8.
Yeah, well, that's where I was. I went ahead and watched episode 3. The guy who plays Beric Dondarrion, I would love for that man to read any of these books. He doesn't sound exactly the same way in real life as he does as his character, but his character's voice is just so commanding, and it's just got a really awesome sound to it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of when I couldn't see the fight.
You cannot afford to seem indecisive in front of men like Roose Bolton and Rickard Karstark. Make no mistake, Rob. These are your bannermen, not your friends. Very true. An interesting choice of the two to single out for that.
Yeah.
By all reports, he has more men than I do and a lot more armored horse. The Greatjon says that won't matter if we catch him with his breeches down. But it seems to me that a man who has fought as many battles as Tywin Lannister won't be so easily surprised. Good, she said. She could hear echoes of Ned in his voice as he sat there, puzzling over the map. So Roose does surprise Tywin, and so perhaps the Greatjon was onto something. Like I like how using the word Ned here instead of his father almost implies Ned is not his father. It's something that we said that they do with Dany, with both of her parents. Every single time that there's like 5 times in Dany chapters that have Aerys' name and twice for her mother, and in each case they seem to almost distance the character from being in that role. It's especially when they're especially used at times when you ought to be saying like her father, his father. You hear echoes of his father in his voice. You hear echoes of Ned in his voice, right? So by saying Ned, it almost says that it's not his father because it's a time when you would have used the term his father typically.
Right. Well, you even pointed it out last episode when we were talking about Jamie when he was ordered to kill his father.
Yep.
We think he did kill his father. So
Yep. Yep.
just the word father and in their names,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
not
he's playing with he's at least playing with the ambiguous nature of paternity, right?
yeah.
At a minimum, he wants people to realize that paternity is more ambiguous than maternity, and that there could be a lot of people who don't really have the fathers they think they have
Right. And then you got Kat
biologically.
calling Bran her special boy, her special son. And
And
I think
in
we
a
think
society
that's
where you're
because
right, in
that's
a
the first
society
firstborn.
where your first trueborn son is above everybody else, right? And
Right.
Bran is noticeably above everybody else in her mind.
Well, especially in the mom's mind.
Yep. Lord Frey controls that bridge. He's your father's bannerman, isn't that so? The late Lord Frey, Catelyn thought. He is, she admitted, but my father has never trusted him, nor should you. I won't, Rob promised. So that's another promise that will be broken, unfortunately.
Well, Kat should have listened to her own words on that one.
He looks like a Tully, she thought, yet he's still his father's son, and Ned taught him well.
There you go.
Which force would you command? The horse, he answered at once. Again, like his father. But this one really makes it sound like Ned is his father here, right? Again, like his father, Ned would always take the more dangerous task himself. And the other, the Great John is always saying that we should smash Lord Tywin. I thought I'd give him the honor. It was his first misstep, but how to make him see it without wounding his fledgling confidence? Your father once told me that the Great John was as fearless as any man he had ever known. Rob grinned. Grey ate two of his fingers and he laughed about it. So you agree then? Your father is not fearless, Catelyn pointed out. He is brave, but that is very different. Her son considered that for a moment. The eastern host will be all that stands between Lord Tywin and Winterfell, he said thoughtfully. Well, them and whatever few bowmen I leave here at the moat. So I don't want someone fearless, do I? No, you want cold cunning, I should think, not courage. Roose Bolton, Rob said at once. That man scares me. So this is a mistake. I would keep Bolton and Theon close. Like almost anybody else besides Bolton. And in fact, even Theon might have been a better choice here because Theon's only reason that he ever turns on Rob is when he gets exposed to his family. I actually think Theon probably could have been reliable if he never had a chance to negotiate with his family.
Yeah.
But Bolton is the worst possible choice. Anyway.
Yeah. It's got to happen.
Right, and he's literally going to march a significant portion of Rob's forces to their death. Is it Derry that he attacks? I can't remember, but anyway, he sends a huge portion of the forces. Is it Derry or Duskendale or something? It's somewhere in that kind of.
Well, later on, that's what
I'm talking about. I'm talking about later on,
and
he acts like that. Is Duskendale okay? He acts like they just like went rogue, right? But no, they didn't go rogue. He said, he specifically told them that they hadn't had a taste of the war, and he wanted to bring it to them or whatever.
Well, in the TV show, they make it sound like that Rob sent 2,000 men against Tywin, and 18,000 men went toward the twins. But in the book, it didn't happen that way. It's a completely different number, correct?
I believe so, because they do send a huge portion there, and then Roose splits them off and winds up getting separating them and getting most of the Stark loyalists killed, basically. Most of his own men not killed.
Bolton used a lot of the other men besides his for the Vanguard.
Right. Well, in both battles. So there's two. That's my point. There's two separate battles that he gets them engaged in, and one of them is just a complete slaughter, where Rob at one point is like, "Why did they do that?" And Roose is like, "Oh, I have no idea." It's like "Oh, I don't know."
That's the Duskendale one, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a huge mistake. I am not going to Winterfell, she heard herself say, surprised at the sudden rush of tears that blurred her vision. My father may be dying behind the walls of Riverrun. My brother is surrounded by foes. I must go to them. Heard herself say, surprised. Sounds a bit Quantum Leap-ish to me.
Exactly. Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures.
There's something else, and I can't I don't know where it is in here, but when they're talking about the letters from Sansa.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought. Yeah, shoot. I thought I highlighted that. I forgot to highlight that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It reminds me. It reminded me of your question before about. It reminded me of your question before about the letters that went to Ned and Catelyn, right? So
Well,
they sent two letters.
It was the letter that Ned asked Varys, if I send a message, will you send it? And he's like, I'll read it, and if it serves my purposes, I'll send it. We don't know that both of the letters that came to Winterfell said the exact same thing, because Sansa's letter has that direct stamp on it, same as Ned's would have.
Yeah, it's probably sealed, and it might have two letters in it. It could actually have
right.
Ned's letter
So
in
that
addition to Sansa's letter.
You're right. That letter may come into play later on in the story because it's back at Winterfell.
There was a letter, Rob said, scratching his direwolf under the jaw. One for you as well, but it came to Winterfell with mine. He went to the table, rummaged among some maps and papers, and returned with a crumpled parchment. This is the one she wrote me. I never thought to bring yours. Yeah, so you're right. We don't know that they're the same letter because Varys could have inserted Ned's letter in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because he was there at the writing of the letters.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is after he's taught. Was it after or before?
No, I sort of got the idea that. So my interpretation was that he actually wasn't going to send a letter, but because Varys told him you're about to have the opportunity to meet with the Queen and make a decision, and that there may not have been any reason for him to send a letter.
Right. But you're sitting in the black cells. We don't. I mean,
and it's ambiguous, and it's definitely ambiguous. It's definitely possible. The fact that they specifically don't open the letter, apparently, and it means that we'll always be left wondering, was there anything else in there, right?
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, it can come into play later, just like Rob's will. I mean, Ned could have confessed everything. You never know. So that's just how my brain works.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I had highlighted that. I forgot to include it.
We were thinking alike.
Yep. Not the first time.
We made it 30 minutes on this chapter.
Yeah, and I did want to tell you one thing. Lizzie, this one on Twitter, is it the one or this one?
Anyway. The one.
And anyway, I got a DM saying I just watched episode 2 and you blown up my mind or something like that.
It was either yesterday or today that she was saying on Twitter that she was watching yours, and Lady Thistle had made the comment that she was going to try to make it a point to watch yours too. I gave him a heart. So yeah, fans are growing, man. Your head's gonna get bigger.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
my 14 subscribers or whatever it is.
I've stayed at 67 for 6 months now, so.
I'm surprised that it didn't go up a little with Guy kind of.
Yeah, well, it might have went up. I think it went up once and then went right back down. Somebody might have hit the follow, and then watched the video and went, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah, that's probably true. That probably happens. They learn what we believe, and they're like, "Oh, these guys, they can't accept reality."
Yeah. Well, see, the funny thing is, one of the reasons I started my account on StreamYard is in YouTube. You have to have 50 followers to do a live stream. Well, at the time, I don't think I had 50 followers. So I started the StreamYard. As soon as I started the StreamYard, then I got over 50 followers. But it helps me. The account that I have, I can have 10 guests. You, Guy, and 8 others added that can join in if we ever have somebody besides Guy that would take the time to do a video with us. Hey, it works pretty good for me.
So someday the book will come out and it's going to prove at least some of our theories right, maybe, hopefully. and then or I should say interpretations, because I like interpretations better, but cause more people to revisit our interpretations, and then maybe we'll get some fans.
There you go. Well, I mean, I know there's things that you could do to put in the title that's something
Yeah, yeah,
popular, and I mean,
yeah.
if there's not
Yeah.
an actual 5-10 minute hot D conversation that's going to play like a review, I'm not putting it in the title. I'm not.
Yeah. We need to mislead people.
Yeah, I don't want to mislead the algorithm and all that kind of stuff. If they find us, they find us. If they don't, they don't.
Yep.
It's fine.
Yeah,
we have fun. I have a blast doing it.
We have fun, and we get to document our beliefs and see ourselves, see our interpretations evolve over time as we figure things out, like Dorcas and I got much more convinced about the idea of that Robert Aaron is probably that John Aaron was probably on to Robert Aaron not being his, and it seems likely that he actually had plenty of opportunity to express his concerns to Robert and chose not to, and he was killed for trying to take Robert away, and Littlefinger knew that they could blame it on the Lannisters because he knew that the secret was there and that he had been doing some digging, but I don't think he had any desire to plunge the world into civil war. So anyway.
Yeah, this is true. I was going to say something. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Dang it. I'll never remember it either. As soon as I hit end, I'll remember exactly what I was going to say, and then I'll forget by the time we do our next video.
All right. Well, we can have a little Twitter conversation here in a little bit, because I need to tweet you out a video on Rob's parentage. There you
go. Well, I think the next chapter is Tyrion. Tyrion.
Yeah, it's going to be we're going straight to right as they prepare for battle, is because that's where we're at here. So
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, it's like a Friday. Every Friday, I tell everybody to have a safe and happy weekend. I will be going with the two oldest in my house to the Renaissance Festival Sunday. One of the people that are going is the 6'3" person that dresses up as a Minotaur, and every time we go and he's the Minotaur, he has hundreds upon hundreds of girls take their picture with him, and it drives me crazy because I'm the one having to sit there going click, 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 and my wife thinks it's freaking hilarious. I'm like, I know I'm old, but dang, but no, it's pretty fun.
I once had a crowd of people wanting to take a picture with me. I went to the Blue Man Group, and I was the guy. So I'm just shade over 6'1", and so I'm apparently about the same build as the stunt guy, right? So I got there early. I was sitting on the aisle, and they came up to me and go, "Hey, are you claustrophobic?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, how tall are you? I said, 6'1", and okay. What size shoes do you wear? And so I had to swap my shoes out, and then go back to sitting down and wait for the show. And then I didn't get to see what's the most famous part of the show because I was the guy. So I was in the box and not really up there. Obviously, they're not actually taking some random person to the audience and smashing them against the. Yes, we're first done. Devoted to Mariah.
Oh wow! Hey, devoted to Mariah. She said she was going to catch one of these.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, definitely. Another one.
Yeah, she put. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend? Question mark, and then it's like, no question mark.
Renaissance Festival. I'm going to have a blast. See, the sad thing is, I'm 52 years old. I do not know how to edit a video in my life. So I told my son, I'm like, come Monday after the Renaissance Festival, we have definitely got to be able to figure out how to edit a damn video, because I'm not going to sit there and hit pause, play all the time. LOL, I can't type. Yeah, it's Friday. We still appreciate you trying, and
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
definitely appreciate all the pictures of Mariah that's on my live stream or my timeline. But yeah, awesome. Tyrion's next weekend. Everybody be good. Like I said, I tip my hat to the fellow veterans. Devoted to Mariah. I appreciate you trying to catch the video. You, Lizzie, Lady Thistle. We're getting a small fan base. I mean, the hat's not going to fit no more with the head getting so big.
Hey! Speaking of
Lady
Lady Thistle.
Hey! I tell 3. I'm telling you. This is how it starts.
We're actually entertaining people. What a concept.
It's the hat.
Anyway, I actually, hey, Lady Thistle. Anyway, anyway, what I was saying was, that's one time I can remember that people wanted their picture taken with me because they put the blue makeup on your face to mark you, right? So that when you go back in the crowd and you go out with everybody, that they'll see you in the crowd and so forth. Well, at some point I did have to swap my shoes back. I need a hat.
Yeah.
I've always claimed that I'm trying to enjoy my hair while I got it. My brother's a little less than 2 years older than me, and he's definitely starting to thin a little. So
yeah. Well, I mean, mine's getting pretty thin right there in the front. So I said, screw it. I'm wearing the hat.
Well, the more reason to wear a hat, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, cowboy hat, man. You can't go wrong with it.
People often conflate correlation and causation, and I've heard people claim that wearing hats causes baldness. I'm pretty sure it's the other way around.
Well, I mean, I started going thin before I started wearing this hat, so I'm definitely doing the comb over.
Yeah, she understands me saying that I'm trying to enjoy my hair while I got it.
Yeah. Well, you had to see me the other day when I was cutting my hair in the bathroom. I put it in a big ponytail with all the way along the fingers, about where my shoulders were, and then I'll use my fingers as a guide, and then kept cutting. I kept missing the hair. It took me 30 minutes to cut it shoulder length. And my wife said, "What'd you do that for?" I said, "I saved $20 that I get to spend at the Renaissance Festival." I said, "By the time I wear the chainmail around my neck and all that stuff, they're not going to be able to see if it's jagged or not." So $20 is $20. All right. Well, it's Friday.
Let's go wrap it up.
Yeah. We appreciate it, devoted to Mariah. We appreciate it, Lady Thistle. Lizzie, if you catch us on the rewatch, we appreciate you.
My hair is Caltro.
I don't know. You have never been defeated.
Nothing wrong with that. Hey,
yeah.
It looks good.
Oh, trust me, if I could get away with it, I would have it. I'd have it to my ass for sure. My wife wouldn't let me do it though. But we definitely appreciate the three amigos catching out our live streams. We appreciate it. So next week, Monday-ish, sounds good so far?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Monday could be Tyrion. We appreciate the comments, and y'all have a safe and happy weekend. The three amigos. There you go, Lady Thistle.
Wait, who's
Lizzie,
the three?
Lizzie, Lady Thistle, and devoted to Mariah. The Valentine, but that it just kind of.
Yeah, and the Valentine and James Martin.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is probably more than this some people we've got a handful of followers.
Yeah, this is true. I'll go ahead and tell you, half of the views of these videos is me watching the video over and over and over again. So
yeah, I often watch them too.
Yeah, if it's got 10 views, 5 of them are me. But okay, it's Friday. Everybody have a good weekend. We will see y'all Monday. Thanks again for watching, and y'all be good. Bye.
Bye.